Good evening, campers, and welcome aboard the Starship Nightwish. I'm Commander Exorcist, and it is time for Talk O Tuesday, my weekly Elite Dangerous show where I pick a Galnet article and read it and talk about it, mainly from a lore perspective, but also kind of break character occasionally and talk a little bit about what's happening in the greater Elite Dangerous galaxy. So, what are we going to talk about today? What in the great and amazing world of Elite Dangerous could we possibly be talking about? I mean, we have the Thargoid War going on. There's a little bit of war fatigue right now, really. I don't think it would be fun to talk about that. What else could we talk about? Well, politics. I mean, Zachary Rackham's out of the game. I mean, I wasted God knows how much time talking about him for him just to quit. Thanks, Zach. What else could we talk about that's really important? Oh, I know. Did you know? This is a little known secret, I guess, but I guess now it's public knowledge. Did you know that the bedroom escapades, let's go with escapades, that sounds good. The bedroom activities of Emperor Duval, the leader of the Empire, that stuff is a matter of Senate concern, Imperial Council concern, whatever. That's right. The bedroom antics, or, as I say, lack thereof, is going to be the focus of today's article. Please, Lord, help me through this one, because this one's going to be a tough one. Stay with me, because I'm sure that you're just as enthralled as I am, because my love, Arissa, needs help. According to the Senate, the Imperial Senate has said that, she needs to get busy. I'm not making this up at this point. So let's take a look and see what's going on here in the Empire, because there are so many more important things to worry about. But we're going to stick with this: the future of the throne. That's right. In case you haven't noticed it, since we basically entered into the Elite Dangerous world about 10 years ago, Arissa has been single. No consorts, no funny relationships, nothing really crazy, no heir to take over the Empire. So that's what we're going to talk about in today's article, the future of the throne. Let's get to it, shall we? I didn't mean that it's an involuntary pun, I promise. The Imperial Senate has formally raised the issue that Emperor Arissa Lavigny Duval has not yet produced any direct heirs. The debate was instigated by Senator Lysandra Corsell. The continuation of the Duval bloodline has formed the linchpin of our society for over 1,000 years. But it has been 8 years since Arissa Lavigny Duval became our ruler. In that time, there has been no spouse or consort, no indications of marriage, and no biological heir to the throne. We politely remind the Emperor of her duty to ensure the line of succession. Wow. So, the Emperor does not seem interested in marrying, having a husband, or producing children of any kind. At least not in the last few years. And this is worrying the Senate, that's apparently keeping track of this stuff. Now, I get it. In most democratic societies, it doesn't matter, because the hedonism doesn't exist. It's not passed down through bloodlines. We're not depending on an heir in most societies to continue on leadership. But the Empire's different. The Empire is built on the Duval bloodline, and so there is a sense, and royalty in a situation like this in the Empire. Royalty is not just a title. Royalty is a state of being. It is a status enjoyed by the bloodline of the family. So the family itself is royal, and the individuals within it enjoy that royal status. And so you can't just bring somebody in that's that's out there that's not part of the bloodline and just, hey, say, hey, guess what? You're in charge now. Technically, they could do it, but it would break the imperial line. And that devotion to the line, that continuation, that's very important to the empire. That's very important to maintaining the sense of identity, the continuity. And, you know, it's been this way for empires and kingdoms throughout history. It really has, in some really weird, twisted ways. But in this case, we're just, the Senate has a very simple request for the emperor to find somebody to love. Following a highly spirited exchange among senators, Chancellor Anders Blaine proclaimed, "Her Majesty has sacrificed much for the empire. It is not our place to question her personal choices, but rather to support her vision for our prosperity and security. The Chancellor is right to a certain degree." Now, I don't know, I'm not totally in depth on imperial law, but it's highly possible that there's a law that requires her to produce an heir, or at least attempt to. Now, you know, there are some people that can't have babies, and the line of succession, at least when it comes to these kind of societies, is going to go with the male heir as the primary inheritor of the throne. She could have a female child, and that child could grow up to be emperor just like her. But right now, she just hasn't done that. And who can blame her? I mean, since she's taken over, basically the galactic politics and everything has been dominated by the Thargoids. There's an existential threat to the Empire. And so I could see her dedicating more of her time to the Empire versus starting a family, because that's a lot of work. Even for royal people, it's the emotional toil that comes with raising young ones up to be big ones that are responsible and reliable and can take care of themselves. That's a lot of work. It's very exhausting coming from someone who's done it. It's very tiresome. And so, you know, maybe she really is just dedicated to keeping her eye on the prize as far as the Empire. I wouldn't be surprised. It wouldn't be surprised if she views the Empire as her child, which, you know, happens. You know, if she hasn't produced a physical heir to the Empire, at least she's produced physical prosperity for the Empire. Now, granted, she was kidnapped and replaced by a clone for a little while. There's some weirdness there, so I don't know. Let's see what happens with the rest of this. Gudrun Vestergaard, royal correspondent for the Imperial Herald, analyzed the situation. This is a delicate subject. No kidding. Imagine that. But one of enormous importance. The Imperial Mother's recent illness has brought into focus the passing of the torch through each generation of Duvals. Every emperor in the last 1,000 years has had one or more children. The public has a certain expectation that an emperor will produce healthy heirs to continue the Duval line, and each new birth is proudly celebrated across the empire. And, yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where, in looking at the outside looking in, it can seem kind of weird and you know, to kind of expect someone, hey, by virtue of imagine being in a position where, you know, hey, by virtue of the fact that you have this job, you have to have kids. Oh, you don't have kids? Well, you need to make some. Like, that's kind of the demand. And not just a demand from, say, you know, the senator here. This is a demand coming from the empire. The imperial people expect this. It's something that's happened for thousands of years, and that's what people expect out of their emperor. They expect their leader to continue their way of life and their tradition. And I did not mean to hit that early, but we're going to keep going with it because I'm not done yet. And, you know, in this kind of situation, it is delicate. It really is, because we don't know the emperor's mind. We don't know what she's thinking and what her interests are. Who's going to tell her she has to do that? And who's going to make her? It's just not going to happen. I mean, if it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen. The Senate can pass resolution after resolution all day long, but at the end of the day, you know, she is she is the leader of the empire. She is the sovereign. You know, She's an independent woman who can make these decisions on her own. And, we can say, hey, guess what? This is the law. We'd like you, you need to follow the law. And is it kind of a violation of imperial tradition? Yes. But here's my thought. My thought is that if the emperor has not produced an heir, there's two main possibilities. One is she may not be able to. And, that doesn't diminish her as a human being at all or anything. And so she may not be able to do that. The second is that she may not be interested right now because of everything else that's going on. There's so many other important things happening in the galaxy. Maybe it's just not a thing right now. So I don't know. It would be really interesting to kind of see what her perspective is. I have a feeling, and we're not done with this article yet, we're going to keep going, but I have a feeling, I would not be surprised if she releases some kind of a statement to this. It'd be interesting to see what that says, though. However, there has never been any indication that Orissa has a partner or entertains marriage prospects of any kind. That's true. I don't think we've ever heard anything about her with anybody, not even an interest. Oh, maybe she should get with Zach. Now that he's out of the political running, maybe her and Zach can get together. Princess Aisling Duval's romantic liaisons, including famously the federal ambassador, took the media spotlight for years. That chick was everywhere, okay? And, if she looked at somebody with even a hint of interest, it was like mass media news. She was in love. It was the future of the empire and all this other nonsense. And just, yeah. So the difference is, though, that, with the emperor, there's like nothing in terms of romantic relationships. And then with the princess, everything she does is just a scandal. Hadrian Duval is married with a baby son. And the others, such as Archduke Otto Lombardo Duval, good grief, have multiple offspring, but Her Majesty seems content to rule alone. Well, Gudrun, I got some bad news for you, buddy. If Her Majesty is content to rule alone, then she shall, and the people of the empire will support her no matter what, because she is the emperor, and she gets to decide what happens. I think we should basically consider that if this is the way she wants to do things, that she's got a plan of some kind. So I think that, we have to kind of place faith that she has the best interest of the empire at heart. And if raising a family at the moment is not the best thing for the empire, it's probably not something she's going to do. Senator Corsell has raised a valid question, though. How long can this continue? And if Orissa remains childless, who will be the next emperor? Dear Emperor Duval, I'm available and single, so give me a call. That'd be kind of cool to be like the emperor's consort. I promise I'd still wear the hat, though. There's no imperial decree that'll get rid of the hat. Oh, wow. It's kind of funny because we can laugh at something like this, but when you get down to it, this is something that seems kind of weird and maybe kind of dumb in ways, but this speaks to the stability of the bubble. This speaks to the stability of the empire and its ongoing presence, because these are the things. This is the kind of heraldry and heritage that makes the empire unique. Some people may not agree with it, but that's fine. This is our culture. This is who we are. And, the Duvals have led the empire for so long, and they've done so well, and it's prospered for so long that the people want to see that continue. And they want to see that continue through a Duval heir. Do I think anyone's coming? I don't know. I think that if the emperor produces any offspring or any heirs to the throne, I honestly think it'll be after the Thargoid War is over, during an era of peace, if that ever comes. Sometimes it feels like this is going to go on forever, but who knows? We'll have to wait and see what happens. Hey, everybody, thank you for sticking with me tonight. These are the Disciples. If you like this kind of content, do all the fun YouTube stuff. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, Share this with your friends. Tell them about the crazy guy in the hat who talks about Elite Dangerous nonstop. And you too can be part of it. Go to patreon.com/Commander Exorcist. Pledge your support today. I do special videos, special things that do not make it onto the main channel. You also get access to some early stuff. You get to see what's coming before everyone else does. So I try to make it worth the investment, because I know that's really what it is, and I appreciate it so much. And that, my friends, is Talk O Tuesday. Like I said, Emperor Duval, give me a call. I'm 100% available to see the Empire through to the next generation. Let's do it and keep the Duval line good and going. Beyond that, I think it's pretty quiet out there. We've got update 17 to Elite Dangerous coming out in the next 2 weeks. Very excited about that. We're still poring over some of the visual data that we got from Frontier through as far as the trailer, but you know, they say we've missed some things, but I think we've gone through that video frame by frame, and there's not really anything that been able to find. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But again, thank you everybody for your continued support. Thanks for hanging out with me for today's Talk O Tuesday. Take care, fly safe, and I will see you out there. Good night, everybody.